Hey Camera 2. We got 2 cameras this time. It's high tech. It's crazy. It's fun. It's technology. What's up, everyone? It is Sloan here, ready to break down some new tracks for you off of my second LP, Harmony House. And I'm just stoked. This is so much fun to be able to break down all my songs and talk to you guys about engineering techniques, if we'll even call it that, anything in that world and realm, because this is all I ever think about. So yeah, it's really exciting to show you guys all my secrets. I don't really know what I'm doing. Let's check this file out. So Close to You, initially, I was listening to a lot of like Doobie Brothers, Paul Simon, Patti LaBelle, George Benson, you know, the list goes on of these 80s pop artists. And essentially for Close to You, I wanted to make a song that could sit beside those in your dad's record collection and you wouldn't even think about it. But I wanted it to sound as authentically 80s as possible, which comes in later because a lot of the gear and synths that I used are literally from the 80s, so from the source, you know. Disclaimer though, I don't want to be like the Elvis impersonator of 80s pop music. It still is a modern take on it, but that's my rant on 80s. Anyways, so Close to You started out as this jam that I didn't really change from the day that I recorded it. It started off with this drum loop that I found from this drum sample library called That Sound. It's just a basic kick-hat snare. That's it, flat, and I just added this kick to add more punch. We got a shaker, a Lindrum cowbell and tom, which a Lindrum is like an 80s drum machine that is all over pop records still today. And then this echo clap, which, fun fact, actually didn't even make the freaking final version of the song as a mistake. On the final, I had someone else master the album. His name's Joe Laporta. He's just a wizard, did an incredible job. But the file that I sent him of the mix, I'd mixed the song so many times, probably 50 times by the time I sent it to him, so I didn't realize the one that I sent didn't have the echo on the clap. It just was just a straight clap. For some reason the plugin didn't work when I exported it. I don't know, but it just sounded like that. And that's what's on the album, or the recording that you all know. There's no echo, which I really missed, and I was really frustrated at first. But this is the original mix with the echo clap that's so dear to my heart. Yeah, we got like some crashes. And we have some lasers down here, which are one laser from a monopoly, just a Korg, Monopoly, I don't know, synth nerds, which one is it? We don't know. Of just like a laser tom kind of deal. And then another one that is from my favorite piece of gear that I own, called a Super Space Drum, Electro Harmonics, maybe like 1970 something that they made this. But it's just a pressure sensitive like drum pad. So you just hit it and then you control the start and stop frequency over here. So if you start it as high as it goes and stop it as low, it goes ooh. Reverse. Whoop. There's modulation on there. It's a really cool piece of gear. But that's where the lasers come in. So you've got a pretty good groove at this point. And throughout the song, the drum loop is pretty much the same. I just have these fills from the same drum pack. I think the verses is the same loop without a kick. Here on the pre-chorus, on the drums, I added like a low cut with a phaser, just making it more trippy. And that's pretty much the drums in the song. I unfortunately don't have a drum kit in the studio. I'm moving pretty soon, so hopefully I'll have a drum kit there and can finally record some real drums. But on Harmony House, and Buzzy Brain both had just MIDI drums or loops. And the guitar on the song is like really not even there, but it adds like a percussive element. I just played the root note, which is an F sharp right here. Just kind of add some funk running through a phaser, just a basic amp, just chorus kind of deal. That just goes throughout the song when I needed to add a little bit more extra excitement. Okay, so I guess we can go to the bass. So the bass was recorded, at least the synth bass was, on a Mini Moog remodel sort of synth that I have called a Poly D, which Behringer made, which in the synth community, it's kind of, Behringer's kind of a controversial topic, but for me personally, I just don't have the money to buy an actual Model D. I wish I did, but unfortunately I do not. So I recorded it analog and layered it with an actual bass. On the pre-choruses, it comes in, kind of serves as a sub, filters up. Whoa. Yeah, but that's it. That's the bass. Underneath the song, I have this Eurorack sample that was just playing around the root F sharp. On my Eurorack system, I have a cubic chord V2, what's it called? A Strymon Magneto, and I just looped it around and kind of created this atmospheric texture thing going on in the bottom of the track, which makes it sound magical. So all of those together, but those just kind of sit in the back of the song the whole time. Not even changing note, doing anything. Now on to the synth sounds where the song's magic really sits. Pretty proud of the synth sounds in this. So we've got mostly a JX3P patch, which is actually, here I can show you. So it's two different things layered. But I have my JX3P right here. It's just a vintage Roland synthesizer. My first analog synth that I got, and definitely still my favorite. Yeah, and so I just have it running through Echo Boy, Wolf Compressor, Real ADT, which is a Waves plugin that does like artificial doubling, you know, all over Beatles records. But I used the Brass 2 preset on the JX3P, which sounds like this. Yeah, but I just played. And then I doubled it with this thing I called the disco layer, which is just essentially the same patch, just going through a crazy phaser. Played a octave higher. But yeah, those are the synth leads that pretty much go through the song. In some parts of the song, I put just open chords for the verses, but the chords really don't change. I mean, variants of the chords change, but essentially the same four. And then I layered it with this patch called West Coast on a rack mount synth that I have called a JV2080. Which is also Roland. Tame Impala used a 1080 a lot on Currents, which I thought was, you know, one of the greatest synth sound albums that I had ever heard. But I'm also a big fan of the show Twin Peaks, and there's a lot of just crazy synth sounds in there, and I think it's from a 2080 as well. But anyways, on the main jam, I did the exact same thing. So I went a little bit pan to the left, just the F sharp variant, using the West Coast piano patch, and did the same thing with the chord changes. So layered together. And those are the synths. Occasionally throughout the song, I have this patch called Fantasia, which also comes from the 2080, which is probably my favorite sound ever but it's just like a super magical. Reminds me of like Reading Rainbow or something. And I have a sweep, which is just all the black keys. But that's all the synth sounds. So that's every instrumental thing going on in Close to You. Let's go to the vocals now. Yeah, essentially the same technique, approached a little differently than what I was doing on Fuzzy Brain, where it's a lead center vocal. You have two pan left and right, where the left and right are really sitting low in the mix and have almost no low end. This is the doubling. It just adds more depth to the vocals. But those, just, you don't even hear them really. And here's the lead. I saw you looking for the side door. Yeah, so for vocals, I'm going through Melodyne, a Waves preamp, Neutron EQ, CLA compressor, RX8 isotope, de-esser, J37, which, you know, I'm always shouting out. I just love running things through tape just to give it warmth. And little plate for reverb, mouth click, D-click. I just hate those kind of sounds when you're recording, so I avoid that as much as possible. EQ, taking out a lot of the low end on the vocals. And then same thing essentially for the harmony. And all of that is being glued together by this mastering chain from Waves. That's like an Abbey Roads emulation. Running through tape again. Soothe 2 is a really great plugin for getting rid of like harsh frequencies. Primal Tap, which is kind of like a H3000 harmonizer sort of thing, where it kind of adds a delay, or at least in the way that I use it, and it just widens the vocal a lot. So I have all of it running through. An EQ, where I brought the mid-range back up. Why would I do that? Take it down and then add it up. But it's one of those things, you look back and you don't realize, oh wow, that was low-key dumb. But anyways, and then Echo Boy, which is kind of a Dayglow staple. And then mouth click one more time to be sure that there's none of those weird macaroni sounds. So on the Echo Boy, I automated it depending on the tracks. Like the pre-chorus, to make it more spacey, you crank it up. The chorus, as it comes back down, tightens it up. Just adds much more of a like pop, you know, feeling to the chorus. And so for the vocals as well, we've got a falsetto group of 3, kind of making it like a Supremes type feel, or like call and response, where essentially I actually started off this song dreaming it up as a duet. There's this song, very different than this vibe, but I was listening to it all the time. It's Michael McDonald and Patti LaBelle, On My Own. On My Own. And it's so freaking good. And I just loved like how much of a duet it was. And you just don't see that too much in pop music today. Like there's collabs, you know, but there's not really like duets. I don't know, I just loved that song and I wanted to make a duet, but I'm an introverted person, so I just ended up doing a duet with myself. But yeah, we've got the falsetto vocals. It was really, I really had a hard time mixing these vocals, but that's pretty much the whole song. Kind of just a fun fact on like every single Harmony House song. I know there's like people who are doing like the slowed and reverb versions of Dayglow songs, which I just love that kind of stuff, especially with just synth driven music. So Close to You specifically, I was thinking like, that could be like a TikTok trend if someone like slowed down Close to You. But anyways, you TikTok kids, if you want to make that a trend, you have my stamp of approval. It could be one of those things where it's like, you know, like 5 places I want to travel this summer. Cancun, somewhere else, the mountains, anywhere, because we can't do anything, you know, then a little dance. It could be a great trend, just saying. Am I desperately asking you to make it a TikTok trend? Maybe. Yeah, anyways, this is close to you. First single off of Harmony House. So stoked to finally be putting all of this out. I've been working on it for a long time. Just super, super proud of it. It's the most encouraging thing ever, seeing you guys just like give it all this love and support, because that's what it's all about. That's why I go through all of this, is so I make a song that you enjoy. Anyways, hope you enjoyed watching, and yeah, thank you for watching the video. You guys are the best. I gotta stop doing that. It's just addicting. Okay, bye.